Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
What problems was he causing? What do you mean by that?
He was blasting music the entire night, drug overdoses, speed freak fights on the sidewalk, dog bites, threats.
This is the plaintiff, Philip. He says his nasty neighbor, the defendant, lost his temper over a parking spot and kicked his car, damaging it. The guy also threw rotten eggs and food at his front door. This madness has to stop, and he's suing him for the $4,039.78 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Jude Walker. He says he did none of what he's being accused of and thinks the plaintiff staged the whole thing, then called the cops on him. He wasn't arrested. The plaintiff is a menace in the neighborhood, and he owes nothing. He's accused of losing it.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Millian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Phillip, you're suing Mr. Walker for $4,039.78 worth of damages to your vehicle when, according to you, he got very upset at you. The two of you are neighbors, correct?
Not anymore. Jude has been evicted.
Okay. Can you tell me what happened this night?
Yes. Jude has been a persistent nuisance in the neighborhood.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
And
Mr. Walker, I'm going to ask you to do something. You know that we can all see you, right? We can see you and hear you. So just let's try to do this in an orderly fashion. Let me ask him what happened first, and then I'll get all of your testimony right after. I just can't get it at the same time. So please don't shout out, "Don't lie." Well, I guess it's not a sports event. It's a court case. Go ahead, Mr. Phillip. What happened?
Okay, I was having dinner and watching a movie with my kids and my girlfriend, and I hear some noise outside, and it's my neighbor Jude causing problems pretty much like he did just about every night in the neighborhood.
What problems was he causing? What do you mean by that?
He was blasting music the entire night, drug overdoses, speed freak fights on the sidewalk, dog bites, threats.
Okay, what was he doing this night? You said, I looked out the window and I saw what?
I heard some yelling and screaming, and Jude was ranting like he often did. And for some reason, he had this belief that I was parked in his driveway when, in fact, he was parked in my driveway.
Wait, he felt that you had blocked him in. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he felt that your car was blocking his ability to get out, and was your car blocking his ability to get out?
No.
Okay.
Because, first of all, he was parked in my driveway.
Okay.
Which he shouldn't have been.
All right, so is that why you blocked him in?
Car.
Okay, I'm asking you if you blocked him in to make a point or anything.
Nope, I didn't block him in. He had just moved his car
So what happens? You
earlier.
look out the window, and what do you see him doing?
I see him putting something on my the hood of my car and on my windshield. I later learned that it was mud and rocks from the backyard. And he's screaming some obscenities and doing some other stuff. And he also kicked the side of my car about 3 times causing 2 small dents in the car.
Okay.
And he also threw garbage and compost at my front door for probably about an hour total.
So tell me what happened then. How did did you ever open the door and confront him? What happened?
You know, eventually the situation was getting so bad, and he was throwing heavy stuff at my door and trying to kick my door in, what it sounded like.
Oh, yeah.
And my children were starting to get a little afraid.
Okay.
And my girlfriend was not too happy.
So what happened? Did you or didn't you open the door?
Tell the truth.
I did. I opened the door.
Mr. Walker,
went downstairs.
Mr. Walker, what part of my instructions are confusing? I think they're sort of clear, right?
I apologize, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Phillip. Did you ever open the door and confront Mr. Walker?
Yes, I did.
And what happened then?
Maybe I walked down the stairs, and I was carrying some pepper spray to protect me, just in case Jude tried to do anything.
Sneaky.
Sure enough, he stepped towards me with his right hand, looked like he was going to swing on me. So I quickly pepper sprayed him in the eyes and stepped back, and which seemed to slow him down a little bit. And he became a little less angry, I would say, actually, just probably because...
and was that the end of the evening's festivities? That was it?
A little while later, the police finally showed up. I think it took them about 45 minutes for the police to get there. And they took a report, but declined to arrest anybody. That's what they commonly do.
Mr. Walker, let me hear your version of events. What happened?
Okay, so that night was just, so when this man first, I've been at that house for 20 years. This guy's been there for about a year and a half. When he first came in, he wrecked the plumbing. So his plumbing, like I was having toilet water just leaking down into my house. And then it just was like incident after incident. So I felt like he was I know he was working. I had a converted basement space. He had a real apartment, and he was paying less rent than I was because the landlord brought him in to try to get me to move out. And then
what was the problem between you and the landlord?
He didn't think it was a good fit. The guy was jealous of me for where I stand in music. He's a jazz teacher in the East Bay, and was never made it. So he was jealous of me and my standing. And,
what is your standing?
So in music, I'm kind of embedded in the music scene here in the Bay Area, and I have been for a long time.
Was he your landlord for 20 years, or he became your landlord a year and a...
5 years ago, I got put on the lease, but I've been in that house for 20 years. It was my parents. My parents had the top flat, and I lived there with them. And then a downstairs, the downstairs converted. It's a converted basement. It's not really up to code. And to me, that was home. And this man was trying to force me out of my home.
Which man? Are you referring to Philip or okay?
Philip,
and why
and
was
landlord.
Philip trying to force? Why was he in cahoots with your landlord?
Because the landlord was telling him to.
But why? What does Philip care? Why wouldn't Philip just mind his own business and just?
Because the landlord gave him cheap rent and was, and moving him in hopes of getting me out, and which was just.
What happened with the eviction case?
I was supposed to go to court. I could not get to court because Philip had blocked me into the driveway, and I was not able to. So I got to court 10 minutes late, and then I went back to court again, and then the judge granted me a stay of execution, so I would have had another 2 weeks to build up my case to, be able to hang on to my apartment, and because it was an illegal eviction, it should never happen. And then at the last minute, somehow Philip was able to call, and he got another judge. It was big, at first it was a nice woman judge. She was working with me, and then she granted.
I gotcha. So let's talk about what happened that night. What happened that night?
What happened that night is there was a small oil spill on the driveway, and I had kitty litters, because you put kitty litter on top of oil spill, and it helps dry it out, right? Have you ever heard of that?
Yep.
It's So that's what I was putting a little bit of kitty litter. He comes out thinking because he's got little cameras set up, and he's always filming because he's a little pervert freak, and so he thinks I'm pouring kitty litter on the front of his car. I'm pouring kitty litter on the oil spill. He comes down. He's like, come here, and he's like always just rude. And then he has the mace hiding behind his back. And I just walk up and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? and he sprays me right in the face with mace, and just like a sneaky, dirty, and it hurts, man. Have you ever been sprayed with mace? It hurts bad.
This episode is brought to you by GMC. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the GMC Certified Service Fresh Start Tire Event. Visit gmc.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only. Highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
This episode is brought to you by the Toyota Grand Highlander. From daily routines to life-changing adventures, the Toyota Grand Highlander is spacious, powerful, and ready to take on life's grand challenges. Advanced safety features and innovative technology give you confidence for whatever life throws at you. And it's available in a hybrid Nightshade Special Edition, which includes sophisticated gloss black exterior accents and 20-inch black alloy wheels. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
Had you done anything to his car?
Nothing. I poured kitty litter on the driveway, and then he said I did something to his car. His car's not worth $1,000.
So you weren't mad because his car was blocking your way or any such thing?
No, I'd basically given up on that, and I've been parking across the street.
Did you turn over the garbage cans and stuff?
None of that.
Now, this is a video that you introduced into evidence, Mr. Phillip. And according to you, this is a picture of the defendant doing what? This is a video of the defendant kicking your car.
I don't see it. That's not even your car. That's my car.
You're kicking your own car?
I wasn't kicking it. I don't see
Someone's kicking that car.
I can't see it. I can't see this.
Well, I can.
I'll
play it a third time, but it's pretty evident that someone is back kicking. All right.
I can't see it. I do not see it.
Okay.
I didn't see anything there.
All right, let's see this one.
And I don't see that. That's me. That's not me. That's my car.
This is interesting.
That's my car.
Which one's your car? The silver one?
The silver one is mine, yeah.
Now, this is interesting because that first one where he's kicking it,
I don't see anybody kicking anything.
Mr. Walker, take a breath. I'm talking. Mr. Phillip, you say that you weren't blocking him. But the first thing I notice is that in this video, you're very close to that silver car that's perpendicular, and he's kicking you because you appear to be blocking him. And then in the second one, where he's standing by his car that's in there, you have moved your car, and you're no longer that close to the perpendicular silver car. So clearly, your car had been blocking his way out, which you may feel you have a right to do, but you're kind of lying to me because...
No.
All right, so let's see the third video you introduced into evidence.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay, stop talking.
Yep, got it.
And first of all, filming your neighbors is not very neighborly.
Mr. Walker, stop talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you have all this on video, Mr. Phillip, but what you don't have on video is one of the biggest part of your expenses, which is, according to you, he was putting mud and rocks on it. So why isn't that on video if that was happening?
You know, I was trying to deal with a crisis situation.
Yeah, but you got everything else on video.
No, some of those videos were from the neighbors, and I can assure you the car was not moved, and I think your eyes are playing tricks on you. I know you don't.
Are you talking to me?
Regard that.
Were you talking to me when you said that my eyes are playing tricks on me?
Yes, the car was not moved at any point until after the police came.
Something's playing tricks on me, but I don't think it's the car. Let's talk about your pictures. This is the picture of your hood. And according to you, what this shows is that he put mud and rocks on your car because, look, you need a paint job. How old's your car?
16, 17 years old.
Mr. Walker, if I have to tell you again, I'm just going to turn you off. Mr. Phillip, answer my question. How old is your car?
Sorry, it's 13 years old. It's a 2008.
According to one of your estimates, the paint is delaminated.
Correct.
Okay. So where is the evidence that he caused this as opposed to you need a paint job?
Well, you could see the circular scratches on the paint.
Well, I'm more concerned about the delamination, like where you can see the pure metal. How did that happen?
That's not delamination. That's clear coat fading.
Yeah, had that leave. Are you implying that he did that?
No, I never said he faded the clear coat on my car. That's
okay. So how did this happen?
Fading,
what I'm looking at here, how did that happen? Age?
Yeah, I think so, and maybe not the best quality paint from the manufacturer.
Okay, all right. And then this is the passenger door, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we can see a dent there, like right above where the handle is?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like the spot. All right. When you submitted your paperwork into evidence, there is a 3-page estimate from Parkside Paint and Body Shop. You only gave us page 1 and 3. Why was that?
Sorry, yeah. I just got page 2 this morning. My apologies.
I know. I had to ask for it. Page 2 is the one that breaks down the different damage for getting you a brand new paint job and the dents. So now I have that, so I have a sense. Mr. Walker, where are you living now, Mr. Walker? Not the address. What kind of place are you living at?
I'm staying in an SRO in North Beach, a single-room occupancy in North Beach.
Okay.
And that's after no more garden, no more. It's hard for my little dog.
I know, but that's why you got to, when someone else owns your property, you got to have them want you to live there. Otherwise, it's up to them. That's, part of the problem with renting and not owning. At the end of the day, you had your day in court because you were able to reopen it and litigate it. You just didn't have a judge who was particularly sympathetic to the things you were saying. All right.
There's a few things I may add.
Mr. Phillip, what did you want to add?
I just wanted to clarify a few things. First of all, that I've lived in this unit for almost 5 years, and I was living underneath Jude's parents, who I had a good relationship with. And when they moved out, I talked to the landlord. He said, you could start parking in the driveway. Only a few months later, Jude bought a car. He didn't even own a car this entire time. Most likely reason being he had a suspended license and a couple DUIs and didn't register.
Okay, how about you not speculate?
Man, you just love slandering my name,
so don't just start throwing things out. Mr. Phillip, you're making that out of cold cloth. You have no idea if that's the case.
You can look up the mug shots online if you'd like.
Okay, so when you say most likely because you didn't introduce any evidence about that, do you have evidence that was why he didn't have a car?
I think it's logical to assume that a person with 2 DUIs and a suspended license would probably not be a good idea for them to own a car even, right?
What year is his suspended license?
I'm not sure exactly. I think maybe 7 or 8 years, something like that.
Mr. Phillip, what else did you want to add about the value of your damages? Because my real issue with your case is the value of the damages. It's not liability. In other words, there's 2 parts to every case. You have to prove the person did you wrong, and I'm ready to rule on that. You've got him right on tape. I can see him. I have no problem seeing what's going on there. And when I say I have no problem seeing what's going on there, I mean exactly that. I see that in the first video you're blocking him. You feel that you have a right to block him because he's in your space and he shouldn't be there. And I see that you want a complete paint job for your car, even though your car needed a complete paint job before this. And the one thing you don't have on video, when you have continuous cameras, video everything, is mud and rocks. But I'm supposed to make him pay for a whole new paint job for you. Okay, I got it. I've got what's going on. Okay? Based on what I've heard, I'm ruling in your favor. Stop talking. Based on what I've heard, I'm ruling in your favor, Mr. Phillip, but not in the amount that you're suing for. I'm ruling in your favor, looking at the page 2 that I had to extract from you so that I could see the amount that is due for the damages, and understanding your argument, this whole $1,800 is just for the dent, knowing that this is a 14-year-old or 13-year-old car, knowing what dents cost because I wasn't born yesterday, I am estimating the value of both the dent repair as well as the garbage that you had to clean up at $900, and I'm ordering the defendant to pay you $900.
Thanks.
So the plaintiff prevails. The defendant's going to have to give him $900. Mr. Walker, that probably stings a little bit. What are you thinking?
Oh, I think that this man is a bad man and he doesn't have any right to treat people so, and that I'm sure that, justice will be served.
Well, he won. Justice apparently is being served in his honor. He gets $900 from you. How about that?
He's a bad man, and San Francisco has a way of weeding out bad men.
Philip, let me ask you. I know you were suing for $4,000. You certainly didn't get that. But do you think this will bring this whole thing to a close now, this lawsuit?
I hope so. Yeah, and there's no ill will towards crazy people.
All right. Well, you get $900, and that's it for the case. And it'll bring this amazing dispute to a close, hopefully.
Doug, mace can be something that is vital in self-defense, and at the same time, it can get you in trouble. To use it, there has to be some provocation and threat. If there is neither provocation or threat, and you just mace somebody, that is not only a civil wrong, it could be a criminal offense.
If my husband and boss friend had an affair, can I sue them for physical and emotional distress? And can I just sue her?
Well, why wouldn't you want to sue your husband too? And,
how is it he gets
sue that pocket and take the money out? No.
Yeah.
So, obviously, yes, you want to just sue her. And can you sue your husband's boss for this time?
No, it's her boss.
Her boss.
Her boss.
It's her own boss.
Yes.
Can you sue your own boss for having an affair with your husband, effectively,
yes,
or alienating your affections?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. And you could file an emotional distress claim, for example. I don't know where she gets the physical
This is America.
distress.
You can sue anybody for anything.
Right, you can do it. Now, a lot of states have an impact rule, so-called, a physical impact rule, where if you want to get damages for emotional distress in Florida, for example, you've got to show that the injuries you suffer have some kind of physical manifestation, not just, I can't sleep, or not just, it really bothers me, it's eating me up.
I got a better idea. Why don't you get a different job and a different husband? How about that for a plan?
Yes, yeah, I suppose that's one option. And then I like your take on it. Here's the other take. She could get what we call in Spanish dulce venganza, a little sweet vengeance.
Revenge.
She could maybe look up the husband of the boss. Look up the husband
and
of the
do
boss.
What? Tell him. Ask him out.
Yeah, have a little fling with him. And it's all even all around.
Yeah, it's karma.
Exactly.
I think you're on mute.
Workday's starting to sound the same.
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This is the plaintiff, Mary Ann Toto. She says she saved for many years and saved enough to hire the defendant to create and install custom drapes in her home. Unfortunately, the drapes didn't match her dining room chairs. She feels as though she's wasted her money and is suing for a refund of the $1,556.40 she paid. This is the defendant, Patricia Appel. She says the plaintiff got all the materials and she sold them and installed them, and the woman loved them. Then 2 months later, and out of the blue, the plaintiff called to complain she didn't like the color. Bottom line, she did an excellent job and owes this woman nothing. She's accused of calling it curtains.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she hired the defendant to make her some white curtains, but the curtains ended up yellow, and she wants the judge to sort things out. But the defendant says she installed the curtains, they matched perfectly, and now 2 months later, she wants a refund? It's the case of calling it curtains.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Toto, you are suing the person who made your drapes, Ms. Appel of Absolutely Appel Design Services, for a complete refund because, according to you, she botched it. Tell me what happened here.
Okay. Well, first I have to say hi, and you are the best. I watch you every day, and I'm a little nervous but happy to be here.
Okay. You suck up when it's your turn. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Toto.
Oh, I'm not
teasing. I'm teasing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I believe you, actually, because my ego is enormous. No. Go ahead, Ms. Toto. What happened here?
Okay. Well, here's what happened. I spent hours and hours first to find the right fabric that I wanted for the dining room chairs, and it was an important detail to have the same matching draperies.
So can we backtrack a second? Let me ask you questions. So, Ms. Toto, you had a dining room set with a particular fabric on the chairs, and you wanted the same fabric for your curtains. You hire the defendant to make those. So you tell her what you want, you tell her which fabric it is. Now, Ms. Appel, you have her purchase the fabric separately and pay you for labor. Is that correct?
Yeah, she chose to do that.
Okay, and that does not include the backing, though, that you put on the drapes, does it?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm providing it? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's my question. Are you providing it?
Okay. Yes, I am.
Right. So she didn't buy that. The person who chose to put ivory backing on a white drape was you.
I chose to put an ivory background on that drape, as I have done through my entire career.
Well, why wouldn't you put a white one? The fabric that she picked for the drapes is super snow white. Her complaint, what is your complaint about the drapes, Miss Toto?
Well, especially at night, that day when she left, everything at the moment looked okay. And then that night, I went into the dining room, I put the chandelier on, and yellow just jumps out.
Okay.
And to be honest, at first I thought it was my imagination, but then some close friends came over, my husband, my daughter, my son. They said, Mom, I think these drapes look yellow. They don't match the chairs anymore.
It's not a matter of anymore. It's a matter of always. Why didn't you notice that right away, that they felt more golden? I mean, one thing is obviously the sun shining in is going to make something look more golden. There's no question about that. You got offended when the defendant said that, but she's right about that. But your complaint, here we go. This is a photo of the drapes with no sun shining through them, because this is, so I guess you're just trying to show me how they look, period?
Yes, and in the room, they do still cast a yellow tinge.
Okay, yes. So at some point, she puts them on before Thanksgiving.
Right.
What is this a picture of? Drapery fabric matches chair fabric.
Right, yes.
So where did you put the drapery fabric? Which one of these is a drapery fabric? I'm just trying to figure out.
The one that's folded and has almost that iridescent look. I don't know if it was my camera, my phone, but to the left and the right of it, you can see that it's white. And it matches.
Do you feel like the left does match the white? And if that's the case in this picture, what's the problem when they're hung? Is this fabric with the lining or no lining? The fabric that you're putting there has no lining?
No lining.
All right. How did you get the fabric with no lining in order to take this picture? I'm confused, because all of the drapes have a lining on them.
Because she returned
the unused fabric.
The unused fabric, yes.
Okay. Now, this is a picture of what? It's pinned. What are you trying to show me there?
Well, I had put solid white and pinned it over the yellow. I pinned it behind. So it does cut down somewhat. And I understand about the sun shining through, but even the part that is mostly on the wall still has the yellow tinges.
All right, so at some point you text her, and it is a month or two after she's left. You text her and you tell her, I think I know what it is. It's that the backing is ivory and it should be snow white. And what does she say?
Well, that's what you ordered. Then I had COVID. And all this time I'm thinking, and to be honest, I was just trying to work up the courage to give her a call and let her know. So on that phone call, I was dismissed. She never called me back.
Well, how were you dismissed on the phone call? What do you mean?
She said to me, that's what you ordered. And then we started to communicate by text because I had never heard back from her by phone.
Okay. And what would she tell you?
And she's too busy to see me.
So let me hear
And
your
that's-
side of things, Ms. Appel, because she feels like she's not exactly getting customer service. You feel like she's, she approved it and now she's complaining. Tell me your side of things.
Well, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this happens to be a piece of white paper and a sample of Ms. Toto's fabric on top of it. It happens not to be pure white. I have a picture that I sent you. I believe it is Exhibit G. And that is the picture that she actually looked at to choose this design.
Is it this one, ma'am? Can you see it?
Yes,
Okay,
that
hold
is the
on.
picture.
All right.
I show you this because the fabric here is almost identical to what Ms. Toto has in her place.
Right.
As you can see, the
what I
light
can see
comes
is
through.
that the drapes are not having sun shining through them. They're
No, but the
flat
balances
against the
do.
wall. Well, the balance is off, but I don't even think she's complaining about the balance. She's not complaining
Yes.
about the sheer fabric. She's complaining about the one that's over the fabric that's on her chairs. In other words, this is the picture, and to me, there's a million pictures here, but this is the one that I find that I'd like to discuss with you, which is this one. This is the spare fabric on the left, and this is the chair on the right. They're perfect. They're creamy. It's not a stark white. It's creamier. But when we know that sun is going to shine through on the drapes, I'm just curious, why pick an ivory instead of picking a white when her chairs are so, gleamingly white? Why not just pick a white backing instead of ivory?
I've always used ivory. Ivory is just an off-white. I have always used it, and what I was trying to explain
Are you trying to tell me that there's no such thing as the white backing? You're not saying that, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
I have a lot of drapes that I've made in my house, and not me, that I've had made, and I'm kind of careful never to put ivory behind white for this reason.
Okay. What I was trying to express to you before with the other picture.
This is the previous client picture. That's what you want me to see, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And basically, it's the light that comes through, depending upon what kind of light. The picture on the right does show a bit more yellow of what you're zooming in on.
Right, but see this,
yes.
my dear, I don't think, is this the sheer that I'm looking at, or is this the...
No,
it's
this is the same
fabric of the
fabric
chair.
as the drapes. Oh, no, this is not Ms. Toto's.
I know,
This
it's
is
a previous
the picture.
client's. I know.
Yes, I see.
I just don't know if it's the sheer that the sun, like right here, I'm zooming in on it. Is that a sheer, or is that the fabric without backing?
That is the same fabric
without
backing. The drapes with backing.
How are you able to put a backing on that's the same backing you put on hers, but gather it that way? It's not the same backing you have on hers.
Yes, it is. So I think what I'm
Can I
trying
ask
to
you
explain
something? How expensive is it to change the backing on the fabric? Like, in other words, if instead of blowing her off, because you did, you truly did just kind of, you felt like she was unreasonable and you didn't give her the time of day. You did not treat her like a client you're trying to woo, let's be honest. You told her you are too busy to see her. That is not exactly tremendous customer service. So I feel as though those are the actions of someone who thinks she's unreasonable and you don't want to give her the time of day. But let's assume that it had gone better than that, and you had gone there and you had felt like something maybe should be done to try to get it whiter. How big a deal is it to change the backing?
Being that the whole treatment would need to be taken apart. And the only way to stop the light from coming through would be to put a blackout lining in. And that was offered to Ms. Toto. She declined that.
Do we have a picture of the actual background? Did you send me, Ms. Toto, a picture of the actual lining background itself? So
I have a picture of Exhibit H.
No.
That is the picture I took of the job before I left.
Okay, I know, but that doesn't show me the backing. Does anyone have the backing, a picture of the backing, so I can see the color of the backing? Anybody.
I see where you're going.
Yep. Are you at your house, Ms. Toto? When you start off with "and Your Honor," I know you're going somewhere other than where I'm asking. Are you at your house right now, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Could we go visit your shade right now? In question?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I don't know. Can you see this? I'm sorry. Can you see it?
Yeah. Can you do me a favor, though? What I'd like to see is the back of it. I want to see the lining.
This is the lining.
Okay. Can you stand back? Can you stand back more? Frankly, I thought it was going to be a lot more yellowish. What I'd like you to do is take the drape and put it on half of the chair. I want you to do something. I want you to make the chair less exposed to the sun. I want the chair to face the same way the drape is facing. So turn the left part of the chair a quarter way. Now stand back. Now stand still. Okay, you can go ahead and go back.
May I interject?
No.
Okay.
So, Ms. Toto, I get what you're saying, I do, and you've done a very good job of putting your case together here. But I have to be honest with you, I really did expect the backing to be a lot more ivory than it was. It's virtually white. And when right now in that last shot, when we put the shade right on top of the chair and have them facing the same way with the same lighting, they're indistinguishable. The problem is the sun shining through. And it will always make it more golden. It's not really a problem unless you feel it's a problem. If you feel it's a problem...
No, I don't feel that's the problem.
Well, that's exactly what you said, and every text was the problem. The only other problem it could be is that it's a different dye lot, which is not something she's responsible for. But when I see the back of that backing, I really did expect it to be a lot more ivory than it was. It's not that ivory, I'll be honest with you. It's not that ivory. And I don't think that that's what's responsible for it. I think what's responsible is... either that it's a different dye lot, which wouldn't be her problem, or that it's, and I don't think that's it either. I think it's a perfect dye lot. I don't think that's the issue. I think that when they hang and there's light coming through, they get more, they just look a little more golden. So if you want a blackout shade, then you get a blackout shade. And you can get a blackout shade that's solid white. You get a blackout backing, but you were offered the opportunity to get a blackout blacking, and you didn't, so that also wouldn't be on her. I think you'll get it to look the way you want it to look if you pay somebody to change the backing to complete blackout, which can be white. It doesn't have to be black, but it has to be solid that no sun is shining through it. But I don't think this is a defect in her workmanship, and I'm ruling in favor of the defendant.
So the judge ends up ruling for the defendant in this case after having the plaintiff do a lot of work and showing her the curtains. Ms. Toto, how do you feel about it? What do you think about what the judge just told you?
Well, the light only comes through maybe 4 inches on each side. My complaint was the yellow shows through that fabric even where the wall is, and no light comes through.
Well, the judge understands a lot about this, as I think.
Yes, I know. It's okay. You know what? I know she's very fair and she's very good.
Okay. Well, it's nice of you to put it that way after losing. Ms. Appel, the judge kind of roasted you for being poor customer service. Let's put it that way. How do you respond to what she told you about that?
I was unable to share many of the texts and such. It was unnecessary. The judge didn't need them. But it wasn't as Ms. Toto said.
Well, you're lucky you prevailed, okay? Congratulations. You're off the hook.
Thank you.
So, Doug, it is so important when you buy something like this, curtains, get a sample of it before you have somebody make it, so then you can compare the sample against what is actually installed. In this case, really, the plaintiff got what she was after. It was just the sun that was the culprit.
Judge Milian, are your earrings some of your treasures from TJ Maxx?
I will never live down that TJ Maxx comment, boy. I have heard from more friends about that. Yeah. I love a bargain. I can't help it. And it's home goods that I spend my time on because it's always house stuff.
Yeah.
But I will not apologize for liking a bargain.
You're right. And look, hey, you will not drive past a Tuesday morning if you have some extra time, right?
Yeah,
or
I graduated a little. I'm now into home goods. But
home
yeah,
goods,
it's, you know, I love a bargain. What can I say? My kids used to tease me about the fact that I coupon.
Right.
Yeah, and then I save 25% on my Macy's purchase or on my, Saks or whatever it is. So, yeah.
And the truth is, you, on any given day, are going to be wearing either Tiffany's or TJ's. It's going to be, who knows where.
Sometimes both.
Sometimes both together. And you know what? That's kind of what style is about. The people who can pull this stuff off wearing almost anything, and it's about how they put it together.
Basically, if I like something I see, then that's what I buy, and that's it. I either like it or I don't like it. It's either real or it's not. It's either expensive or it's cheap.
A lot of celebrities kind of conduct themselves that way. I know that, like Floyd.
No, I'm sure no one conducts themselves like the refugee that I conduct myself as. I'm pretty sure that you can take the girl out of the refugee camp, but you can't take the refugee out of the girl.
Right.
That's what's going on here.
Right.